I'll call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we are on Treaty 1 and Dakota Nation's territory and a traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. We'll introduce the panel members first. I'm Marcel Larondo. I'll be chairing. Tracy Anderson, videoing, and Doug Marks is here next to me. The assessors today will be Patricia Bishop, Amanda Evans, Drew Thiessen, and Candace Wright. And our secretary will be Belen Rojo. To the participants of the hearing, please note, you are placed in the waiting room until your property is called upon. When it is your turn, you will be admitted into the meeting. Kindly follow along with the City of Winnipeg's Board of Revision YouTube channel for the hearing process. Once the host admits you into the hearing, please close or mute your YouTube player. You will then be permitted to speak with respect to your property. Once your hearing has concluded, you can leave the meeting. We will be hearing applications for revision of assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application. We will limit the discussions to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matter must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessment of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the Board's decision with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or the Court of Queen's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemption from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions that the applicant may have. And then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. Please make sure your phones are on silent as well. We will be hearing items 5, 7, 9, and 10 on the docket today. So we are going to start with item 5. And today, who's the assessor on that one? Patricia?
Drew is.
Drew is? Drew, you're up. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Can we get you sworn in then?
Mr. Assessor, please state your full name.
Drew Thiessen.
And you affirm the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
And the appellant is?
There's someone in attendance for that one.
No one in attendance? Okay. Drew, if you'll put it forward, please.
All right. Thank you very much. The property is 548 Sherbrooke Street, roll number 13050550000. Located in the Daniel McIntyre neighborhood. It's a 2-story build. It is a multifamily conversion built in the year 1907. Living area of 1472 square feet. It has a full basement, does not have a finished basement, has 2 full baths, does not have central air, no fireplaces, no garages, no pools or sunrooms. The lot size is 4109 square feet. It has land influences of a bus route, commercial adjacent, and heavy traffic. The comparables are all located in the Daniel McIntyre neighborhood. They are also all 2-story builds, multifamily conversions, built between the years 1905 to 1914, with living areas between 1360 square feet to 1628 square feet. Only one of the comparables has a finished basement, and that's comp 3. The rest all do not have finished basements. The bathroom counts are all fairly similar except for comp 3, which also has an extra half bath on top of the 2 full baths. 3 of the comps have central air conditioning, comp 1, 3, and 4. And then comp 3 also has a detached single car garage. The assessed lot size ranges between 2,350 square feet to 3,505 square feet. And the land influences do differ slightly. Comp 1 lacks the commercial adjacent influence that the subject has. Comp 2 has no land influences. Comp 4 has no land influences. And Comp 3 lacks the bus route and heavy traffic influence that the subject has. The time adjusted sale price is a range between 205,000 to 256,100, with a range per square foot of 125.92 per square foot to 187.21 per square foot. The current assessed value is at 206,000. There was also a subject sale. There were 2 subject sales actually within the reference period. The first was on January 9th of 2015, sold for 145,000. And then the second one was October 5th of 2015, sold for 211,000. That was a private sale. I had no visibility to the listing, but based on the change in the price, it does appear that it was renovated between the time. Also, there were notes from the Planning, Property and Development Department that there was work done without the proper permits. That does appear to have been remedied since that was noticed. Those were all closed off by the Planning, Property and Development Department, so I have to assume that the work is done and completed as it would be required to building code. With all this information known, I do feel that the assessed value is fair at 206,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Drew. Any questions, Tracy? Tracy, any questions? Her mic's not working.
Sorry, the mic is working. The finger trying to get the mouse to work is not working. I apologize. Yes, I have no questions at this time. Thank you.
Okay, Doug?
No questions this time.
And I've got no questions. So thank you very much. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which was number 7 on Perth Avenue. Who's my assessor for that? Candace? You're up, Candace. We'll get you sworn in.
And you can approach the table. You guys can both take them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have a seat at the table here. Come join us over here. Oh, does he?
Take a mask off.
At the table you may.
Madame Assessor, please state your full name.
My full name is Leonel.
No, the assessor first. 1 second.
Oops.
Candace Wright.
And you affirm the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now it's your turn, sir.
I will affirm both of you one at a time. Mr. Applicant, please state your full name.
Okay, my full name is Leonel Gascani.
And you affirm the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
It's to my belief, it's total truth.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Applicant, please state your full name.
Nicholas Kozak.
And you affirm the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Candace, you're up, please.
Thank you. The subject property is roll number 1105-1798-235. This is a piece of land located on Perth Avenue. There is We consider it a residential outbuilding type of property because there's just a small storage shed located on the property. This shed is not currently adding any value, so basically we have it assessed as a vacant piece of land. I have included an aerial photo just so you can see that there is just a small shed located on the property. This property is located in the Seven Oaks neighborhood. It has R1M zoning. The lot size is 2,372 square feet. It is a 25-foot lot. The frontage is 25 feet. It has a school nearby, so there's a school influence, and the current 2022 assessment is $88,000, which is $37.10 per square foot. Now I have 4 comparable properties here that are all vacant residential land located in Seven Oaks, Jefferson, and Luxton neighborhoods. I have included a map with my evidence so you can see where these properties are located relative to the subject property. All of these comparables have R1M zoning. They are all lots with 25-foot frontage, and the total area ranges from 2,501 square feet to 3,090 square feet. The only comparable with any external influences is comparable number 4 that experiences light traffic, and it's located on a bus route. The sale prices for these properties ranges from $78,600 to $100,000, which gives us a time-adjusted sale price ranging from $83,100 to $101,400, or a time-adjusted sale price per square foot range from $30.23 to $36.91. So I feel that based on this market evidence, the current 2022 assessment of $88,000 for the subject property is supported by market evidence. Thank you.
Do you have any questions of the assessor before we get on with your presentation?
Just one question. Do you take any other restrictions or amenities into consideration when you do an assessment, or do you do a general assessment of other properties that are sold in the area?
So we decide on an assessment based on comparable properties. In this case, I selected these 4 comparables that I felt were most similar to the subject property. I know we had spoken, you had said there were some restrictions. With this assessment, we just based it on sales of similar properties because I didn't have any information as to what those restrictions are or any details about those at this point.
Thank you.
Doug, any questions?
None for me, thank you.
Tracy?
I have no questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Do you know what the zoning is on this property, Candace?
It's zoned R1.
Is R1?
Yeah.
Are the other properties all R1 as well?
Yes, they are.
There seems to be a good variable here between the 33 and your 37. What makes this one at the high end?
In terms of price per square foot?
Mm-hmm.
It is the smallest property, so the next closest in size would be comparable number 4 at 2,501 square feet. So typically smaller properties, the price per square foot you would expect would be a bit higher. So that would be the reason for that.
It's 2,500 square feet and it goes in at 33. It still comes in at 78,000, $10,000 less. That's the number 4.
Yeah, I was looking at all 4 comparables. I didn't put really any weight on one over the other. And comparable 4 does have light traffic, so that may have affected the value slightly.
Number 4 is down on Jefferson, is it not?
Yes, it's on Jefferson. And it's on the...
Is Jefferson not, I hate to say it, but a better street?
No, yes.
This,
Mhm.
if you take a look at the map, this comparable is actually the furthest away. So it's, the subject is on the east side of Main Street and then the one on Jefferson is a bit further away.
Everything is basic. This land is east of Powers. Okay, east of Salter. So are the other ones, but the other ones are on you've got two on the other side of Main Street, three on the one. The subject is on the other side of Main Street.
Yeah.
So 1 and 3 are on the other side of Main Street, correct?
Yeah, so in terms of location, I would say 1 and 3 would be the most comparable to the subject.
And 1 is just about there, and 3 is 33. So those two would be the best comparables, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. On with your presentation, please.
Okay, we don't have any specific evidence to what I'm gonna be saying. I got 5 points. I would like to express them.
Please do.
First one would be that it's an unfair representation of the market value. Number 2, there's applicable restrictions on the plan by the city, which was never properly taken into consideration. 3, we had the property for sale. 1 offer for 110 didn't come to fruition. 1 offer for 100 did not come to fruition. 1 for 81, which we accepted, did not come into fruition. 1 for 71,000 did not come into fruition. Reason for due diligence: no, not one contractor was able to obtain a variance from the city of Winnipeg because of restriction on this particular lot. Not all the lots the comparable lot, but this particular one. Number 4, which it's a little bit funny, but we are prepared to accept an offer from the city of Winnipeg at the appraised value minus 10% of the value. We are paying high taxes. We're paying the appropriate taxes if the land was able to be built on. You cannot get something from the city of Winnipeg. On one hand, the appraisals are high value. On the other hand, they do not give us a permit to build a house. They do, however, they'll build a dollhouse, which is, it would be okay for a very extremely small family of rabbits. Number 5, we're asking the board to consider conducting a professional appraisal of the property in question, not necessarily comparable to a piece of land. There's land all over the city of Winnipeg, some higher, some lower, and it just does not work. It's restriction from the city. On one hand, they tax us. On the other hand, they restrict us from carry on to put a building on there, which we can actually get back some favorable income. So we had it for 3.5 to 4 years now. We just can't do nothing with it. And that's all I have.
Candace, do you have any questions?
Yes, so what type of restrictions are there that is preventing a permit from being issued? What are the actual
The
restrictions?
city of Winnipeg wants us to leave 8 feet side yard between the adjacent house, not necessarily from our property line, just from the adjacent houses.
Okay,
Okay.
and so you subdivided this property a few years ago, is that correct?
Yes.
And were you aware of that when you subdivided the property?
Were you aware of the restriction being put on it when you subdivided the property?
No, it was not.
Okay, I think that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Doug?
No, my question's been answered. Thank you.
Tracy?
Just further about the restrictions, is it the offers that you had, the contractors were not able to find a plan to fit within those restrictions? Because if it's 8 feet from the other house, that's kind of 4 feet either side of the property line. Is that where the hiccup has been, that the contractors were not able to get a permit for that?
I did not get exactly what the contractor was said, but just came back and said, city says no. Whatever the percentage was, the answer was no.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's it.
Did you get a variant? You built the house to the east of it on your other half of the lot when you subdivided? But it looks
It existed. It was an existing house.
that was an existing house, the one on the east.
That's right.
And when you subdivided it, is that house built right on the property line?
No, this
How far away are you from that house?
There's 2 feet, a couple of inches
2
away
feet.
from the property line. The
2
existing
feet.
house was pre-built, and it's 2 feet from the existing property line.
But this lot used to be included with it.
Yes,
And then you chose to subdivide it, correct?
correct.
And there has to be clearance between the buildings because the fire code. But you must, when you subdivided it, it's usually written right on the paper that there's a restriction being put on it.
This was separate. We separated the titles. These lands were registered at the land title office back in 1921, I think it is. Each one was a separate lot.
But they were separate lots?
They were separate lots, but the one under one civic address, the owner owned both of them.
Okay, right from back then. Now you own the house next door?
No, we don't. We just own the lot.
You just bought the lot.
Land, yes.
You bought that 4 years ago, you said. I didn't see a sale on that lot.
I think there was.
It says subjects, there's no sales on it.
Oh, no.
Well, that's what this contractor tell me too. They go there and says it doesn't exist. Maybe that's. Go ahead. Finish.
But did you buy it privately or
No, this was bought
it was on MLS?
on us.
Do you mind my asking what you paid for it 4 years ago?
285,000. No, 230 something. Okay.
Well, that's
But-
with the house on the other one. So you
With
bought
the house
both,
and the lot, yes.
and you paid $285 then,
No, that was 235. Oh, okay.
$235.
Yeah,
And
I may
then,
be wrong.
and then you
Check.
sold the house.
Then we sold the house, yes.
And you sold the house,
For 205, was it? Something like that.
so you were left with about 20,000 owing on the lot.
Yes, yeah, we were expecting to build something on it. But we both pushing our agents.
We're not pushing anything yet. We're not pushing till we push the daisies. Gentlemen, leave it with us and we'll see what we come up with. Thank you very much for your
Thank you very much.
presentation.
That's quite enjoyable. Zoom, eh?
Yeah, it's zooming. Everything's zooming on us now. Even us old guys got to start learning this stuff.
Yeah, I found people do it on the phone here. I don't know how to do it.
You have a good day, and I'm going to call up the next one is going to be number 9.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Every day is a beautiful day.
That's right.
Because I can't change it.
And as long as we wake up in the morning.
And not only that, if I could change it to make my first beauty,
There you go.
I have to be optimistic on that part.
See you later.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. The next one is going to be number 9, 15 Kilmarnock.
I can't say that.
You can't say it either. It's just, that's how it's just me.
Tomorrow.
Kilmarnock, yeah, sounds cool. And who's my assessor on this one?
Drew is our assessor for this one as well. Drew?
Drew?
Mhm.
Is he back up? He
Yes.
is.
I'm back.
Okay, you're already sworn in, Drew. And
All right.
Nicole is here. The appellant here?
There's no one in attendance for this
No
one.
one appellant? Okay, Drew, go ahead, read it on.
Okay, thank you very much. Roll number 080039444400, 15 Kilmarnock Bay, located in the Polbury neighborhood. It's a 4-level split, single-family dwelling built in 1975, a living area of 1936 square feet, has a full basement with finish. It has 1 full bath, 2 half baths, and 2 showers. It does have central air conditioning, has 2 fireplaces, has an attached multi-car garage, and has an assessed lot size of 65 square feet. The comps are all in the River Park South neighborhood. It was difficult to find suitable comps for 4-level splits in the Polbury neighborhood that would be very similar to the subject. The year built for the comps is between 1979 to 1987. They're all 4-level splits, single-family dwellings. Living areas between 1622 square feet to 1853 square feet. They all have finished basements. There is slight variability to the bathroom counts. Comp 1 has the exact same bathroom counts as the subject. The rest have slight variability to what they have. All of them have central air conditioning. For fireplaces, comp 1 and 3 do not have fireplaces at all. And then comps 2 and 4 have only 1 fireplace. For garages, comp 3 has a detached multi-car garage rather than an attached multi-car garage. The rest do have attached multi-car garages, with comp 4 being an actual built-in garage, but it is an attached garage in that sense. And it is a multi-car garage as well. The assessed lot size is between 5101 square feet to 10,000 square feet. And comp 3 has a back lane influence. So basically it just has back lane access as well. The time adjusted sale price ranges between $373,700 to $451,700, with a time adjusted sale price per square foot range between $223.77 per square foot to $243.77 per square foot. The subject has seen extensive upgrades over time. I did attach with my evidence a list of the upgrades that have occurred over that period of time. A lot of them do have lists of actual dates that this did occur on, which is where I went with the comps in the River Park South neighborhood rather than Polbury, because the comps that I found in Polbury, most of them did not have similar extensive upgrades to the subject. Based on all of this information, I do feel that the assessed value as it stands at $472,000 is fair. Thank you.
Tracy, any questions?
No, thank you. Not at this time.
Doug?
Yeah, just one. Have there been any building permits taken out on this residence?
I did not see anything recent. I didn't look too extensively.
Okay, thank you.
What year was the information that you got here for the MLS?
That's a recent sale. It sold in 2021 in April.
And that's the way it was written up?
Yeah.
So 10-year shingles are considered newer shingles?
Yeah, I guess they added new shingles in 2012 based on that features and upgrades list.
Smaller properties usually have a higher per square footage on them, do they not?
Typically, yes, you would see the sale price per square foot or the assessed value per square foot increase as the size decreases. However, it's not always the case, especially in the case where there have been extensive upgrades. There could be variability as to the assessed value based on that.
Do you know what upgrades were done to any of the other ones?
There were similar upgrades done to other properties, but not to the same degree. So Comp 1 lacked the bathroom and basement upgrades, especially in the case of the subject. The basement is very highly done on the high end of renovation. Comp 2 is probably the most similar.
When you say it done on a high, did you go see this house?
No, I did the review based on the MLS listing, which I did attach.
So you just used basically what the MLS wrote down, what the salesperson wrote down for the house.
Oh, and the photos.
And the what?
The photos. I attached the photos as well.
Okay. Let me look at them while I got no further questions. I'm good. Thank you very much, Drew.
Thank you.
Number 10, Lone Oak Place. Who's the assessor?
Trisha Bishop.
Trisha? Let's see when Trisha shows up. Here she comes. You want to swear Trisha in, please? I'm good. Thank you very much, Drew.
Thank you.
Number 10, Lone Oak Place. Trisha, you're up. Trisha? Let's see when Trisha shows up. Here she comes.
Good afternoon.
Trisha in, please?
Yeah, can you please close your YouTube player?
Somebody's got it open. Try it now, Patricia.
Should be closed.
Okay, thank you. Madam Assessor, please state your full name.
Trisha Bishop?
And you affirm the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
You hear us, Stephen?
Please don't leave it.
Yeah, now, yeah.
No.
Mr. Applicant, please state your full name.
Even Woloshiniski.
And you affirm the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Patricia, when you are ready.
Number 060046765000, 15 Lone Oak Place. The 2022 assessment is $614,000. I did inspect the subject property on August 29th, 2019. I've included some photos on the second page of the brief. So this is the aerial view of the subject. The aerial view is taken in May 2021. And then I included some photos from the inspection, the front, the rear, bedrooms, master bath, kitchen, and living room. Okay. Moving on to the comparable properties. So the subject property, 15 Lone Oak, is located in Niagara Place. It's a 2-story, built in 1990. The living area is 2,939 square feet. It has a full basement that is finished. There is 2 full bathrooms, 2 half baths, and 2 showers. It has central air and 1 fireplace and a multiple attached garage. The assessed lot size is 25,566, and it is adjacent to the Seine River. The comparables selected are all in Niagara Place, 2 stories, built within 11 years of the subject property, similar square footage. Comparable 1 does not have a finished basement. the lot sizes are also quite a bit smaller than the subject and would require an adjustment upwards for that. The sale prices in this area generally range between 470,000 to 725. In the reference period, that's what I saw, the range. And the difference between those sales would be of the upgrades of the property. So these properties are large, so if you're getting a dated home, it would require significant money to renovate. So that's what you would see the difference in the sale prices. So comparable 1 is maintained but dated. Comparable 2 is in similar condition, maintained but dated. And then comparable 3 and 4 would have renovations, some degree of renovations. So comparable 3, I would describe as completely renovated, and comparable 4 is a mix of maintained and renovated. So the sale prices of the 4 comparables support a value between 534,000 and 755,000. And based on my inspection of the subject, it is there are some dated features that require upgrading, but there are also features of recent work done, such as the kitchen and composite decking, that would demand some value. So I felt that a value in between those comparables of 614,000 was supported. So I'm asking that the board maintain that. Thank you. Oh, and sorry, I didn't mention here that this board has heard this appeal for 2020, which is the same reference date as 2022, April 1st, 2018. We did receive a confirmation, so I did include that order in there. Thank you.
Stephen, any questions of the assessor?
The photos, are you actually looking at another screen? Are the members of the board able to see a shared screen?
The photos that we see?
Yeah, because Patricia was looking at a screen and pointing out this is the lot size. I didn't see her pointing or sharing a screen. Are the members seeing a
Yeah, we have it on our computer.
No, she was not screen sharing. She's just viewing this, or everyone's viewing the same document that was submitted and shared with you.
All right. So I didn't know what page she was referring to. I guess I had to follow along. First of all,
we're in questions right now.
Yeah, I have questions.
Yeah.
The photos are dated 2019. Is the date of the subject property and the assessment date April 1st, 2018?
So the 2022 assessment is actually the condition of the property as of December 31st, 2021. Because that date is in the future, we are looking at today's date condition using the market conditions as of April 1st, 2018. So it's current condition that we're assessing. So as your home is today. So the 2019 photos were the closest to the date that I had. We have been out to your property a few times there, but the most recent inspection was in 2019. So that's why those are the photos I used.
Well, in my brief, there's 2017 photos that I think more are representative of the condition at the time it would have sold. So I question why these would be admitted. These are post many renovations.
I think what the assessor explained to you was that these pictures are showing that was the condition in 2019. What she is looking at is the condition in 2020, but at 2018 value. So we have to show the condition of 2020 and what it would be worth in 2018. Does that make sense for you?
It's a bit confusing, I must say. I was under the impression.
I agree. I'm confused by it too sometimes. That's how it works out. Any other questions?
Those photos that were taken, the aerial photos, where did those come from?
That came from our pictometry assessment and taxation system, internal system.
Okay, not Google.
No.
Basically,
All right. Well, your comparables, 1, 2, and 3 don't have any, do not have double garages, correct? Or do not have triple garages. They all have 3 garages. And so that's my point. Comps 1, 2, and 3, not great comparables because they don't have in the first place 3-car garages. Is that correct?
I don't have that information in front of me. I just have them recorded as multiple. The subject does have a triple car garage. So if they did not have triple, then we need an adjustment upwards.
Right.
Right. But I don't have that information in front of me. So it could be double or triple.
Yeah. Now, when I make my presentation, can I refer back to Patricia's brief, or should I ask those questions right now?
you can refer back to it during your presentation.
Okay.
Rebuttal. No further questions at this time?
Just ask a question. You can tell me if I'm doing this correctly. Comp 1, being a former show home, it has all the upgraded features. Granite countertops, ceramic tiled backsplash, 9-foot ceilings, hardwood floors, a large laundry room, 2-car garage only, wood beam ceilings and granite quartz countertops in the master bathroom, beautiful backyard. Have you been able to view these pictures?
Yeah, I reviewed the MLS listings. So in Niagara Place, most of the homes are custom built. That is common in the area. So so custom would typically include upgraded features. So that is common in the comparables.
So my question is, can the board see these photos? Have they seen these photos? Because I could share a screen now. We can look at them to show the comparison. Then we'll see my property and being able to compare it fairly.
Is it in your brief, those pictures?
Yes.
Well, we'll see the pictures in your brief then.
But not Patricia's pictures. I think we need to see hers. There's some beautiful properties she's outlined there. I don't think they're a fair representation of ours.
Oh, you think they got a higher value than that?
I think they have a much higher value than my property. And that's why I could screen share and run through the photos of each one of her properties. That's what I'd like to do.
Well, she's using the actual sales value on those homes, so.
Yeah, and that's the point. If you look at her properties and then compare it to my properties, you'll see that visually, there's no way mine compares to those, and it would not sell for anywhere near what Patricia is suggesting.
We'll hear that in your presentation. We'll just see if there's any questions from the board members. Doug, do you have any questions?
Not at this time, thank you.
Tracy, do you?
I have none of the assessor, thank you.
Okay. Stephen, let's go on to your presentation.
Okay. First thing I want to
That's your brief.
do is share my screen. How do I do that?
I don't think you didn't send it in, so we can't look at it.
No, I want to share my screen and show you what
Do you
Patricia.
want to send in pictures of the assessor's house? We have pictures of the other houses. Yes, and she didn't put those houses in. She just put the information about them, not pictures of them. He wants to produce the pictures.
He gave us pictures in his brief.
Of
But not the same ones.
those are the ones that he is bringing in information.
Okay.
You want
Of her evidence? Okay. That is up to you, and if you do accept it, I would need a copy for our files.
and that's the difficult part, is getting the copy. It's kind of hard for us to take information that we haven't got before us.
Can you see? I just shared my screen. Can you see the 223 Southbridge Drive? That's one of her comps. That's the first comp on her list. So just wanted to run through these photos.
Okay, go through them. Can you send them in to the city clerk after you're done?
Sorry, is this, I have to object here. Is this a rebuttal or is this evidence, new evidence being submitted here?
This is evidence that you presented without the pictures.
Yeah.
No, so this is not my evidence.
No, it is not.
It's not my brief. So I didn't receive this for the hearing, so I didn't have any chance to review it or take a look at it.
These are your comparables.
Yeah, but this wasn't submitted in advance. I had no time to review it, so I'm just expressing my objection to it being permitted.
Would it be considered rebuttal?
If you can consider rebuttal.
Okay.
That's outrageous. You can't
Right?
even.
Candace? Are you there? No, it's not Candace. Patricia?
Right.
Would this not be rebuttal to your information though? Because you gave us these addresses?
No, that's what I'm saying. I asked if it was being accepted as new evidence or if it would be accepted as rebuttal.
It would be accepted as rebuttal.
Okay, and what is he rebutting?
He's rebutting the values that you put on those homes by showing the condition they're in.
Yeah, I explained the condition in my brief. I said that I explained the condition, so I'm not sure what he's saying is inaccurate that I presented. Like I explained the condition of the comparables in my verbal testimony. And so I'm not sure what's being rebutted here.
Your evidence is incomplete.
Go ahead, Stephen. We're dealing with the.
Okay, so here we go. 223.
No, don't go ahead with that. Go ahead and talk to me about why you're bringing the pictures forward.
To show a good comparison between the subject property. This is what we're looking at, the condition of the home. I will present after viewing the condition of these homes at the time of sale to the condition of the subject property at 15 Lone Oak Place at the time of the required whatever date it was, 2021, 20. Anyway, she's presented those pictures. I think I should be able to present pictures of the comparables. So otherwise, how do you compare them?
I guess I'm just, I'm struggling to understand, Stephen, what do you feel that I said that you need to, that was inaccurate, that you need to rebut? Like, I'm not understanding.
Well, isn't this the whole exercise to compare the properties? So let's compare them. Let's get on with it.
What I think what I'm hearing, Patricia, is that he wants to show the condition of the homes inside. I know you already stated what the condition was, and he wants to show what the pictures are showing. I guess the pictures.
Sure, but I mean, you're obviously you can do what you want, but rebuttal, in my opinion, would be if I showed pictures of a property and he argued that those were inaccurate. I did not show any pictures. I described them, and if he's saying my description was inaccurate, then if this is his proof of what I said was inaccurate, but I described them and based on what I reviewed. I just don't see what he's saying, what he's rebutting. To me, it looks like he's presenting new evidence. But
looking at the property, how do you expect someone?
Stephen, hold on, okay. Patricia, we're gonna do a ruling on this between the three members.
okay.
So we're gonna take a little recess. So we're gonna take a little recess. We're gonna make a ruling on whether he can bring it in, okay?
Sure.
I'm not gonna do it. We're live? We're live. Okay. We are going to allow you, Stephen, to bring that information forward, but there's one stipulation. I want you to forward those pictures and those files to the city clerk's office before you make that presentation, okay? You know how long it'll take you to send those files?
Oh, this is a website link to MLS listing. This is something that Patricia has access to.
We actually need hard copies for the thing if we're going to accept it. If you haven't got hard copies, how long is it going to take you to print those off and send them in?
What about an electronic version?
Electronically, you're just going to send them over to the PDF format.
It's going to take a bit of time.
How long?
A couple hours.
Well, then we won't be hearing. We won't be seeing that evidence today, then will we? What's happened is we don't usually run into this problem with the residential because we never did share this information prior to the meeting, prior to COVID. But now we have to send it out a little early, and it gives everybody an opportunity to study it. But when you do study it, you still have to make sure we have all the paperwork, because this is a public hearing and we have to make sure that the paperwork and the paper trail is there to follow.
How would I know what her comparables are going to be?
You got them this morning.
Yes.
That's how you know.
That doesn't give me.
You had a morning to work on them.
That doesn't give me enough time to send hundreds of pictures. I don't see why we can't just view these pictures and you get a copy later.
No, I'm not going to allow the pictures unless we have a copy first. So if you can't produce it, we're not going to see the evidence. The rebuttal. So if you want to carry on with your presentation now.
I'd like to make an objection to that.
You can, and I'll take it as noted.
Okay.
We'll
I just don't understand how you can establish a market value.
I've already established what's happening. You can move on with your presentation now, please. If you'd like.
Okay. Is my screen still being shared?
Nope. We're not going to share the screen. You're going to make your presentation.
This helps me make it. Okay. If you see my screen and follow along. Have any of the panel members read this brief?
The problem with sharing the screen, you're coming on a TV screen in front of us. Some of us can't see that far.
Okay. Well, I'm on page 1 of my brief.
Just do that as you go along, please. Leave it sit there. It's the same as what we got. Page 1, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to read my brief. So this is a brief for an appeal for 2022. I'm sure you know the roll number, 0600-467-6500. It's 15 Lono Place. Current market value as of April 1, established by the City Assessment Division, is $614,000. Since 2010, the subject property has been unfairly assessed at exorbitantly increasing values, varying between $100,000 and $281,000. That's 18 to 60%. So basically every year I'm subject to this huge increase. The condition of the property is terrible, requiring extensive remedial repairs. This can be seen in the photos in the attached exhibit D1, and I'll be looking at those with you shortly. Due to the poor condition of the property, it requires the property owner to appeal every year to accurately represent true market value. In order to bring the subject property to an equivalent marketable condition to the comparables, extensive major remedial work is necessary. The property is currently undergoing extensive remedial work, which is calculated to be $265,000, based on written estimates obtained by contractors as outlined in the attached exhibit A1. Majority of the deficiencies are supported by the attached written estimates. After the adjustment of the remedial work and the time adjusted average of 3 comparables, we arrive at a value of $550,030. From that, the renovations required to bring it to market value. $292,030 is my subject property, the fair market of the subject property. I realize that this is a very large discrepancy from the city's assessed value. And it's reasonable to conclude that the reason for the massive annual increases lies in the methodology used for larger caliber homes in poor condition. There's really no way the city can assess a large home without looking at the condition of it in detail. So many people do not take to task the city in the condition of the home. So this is why we're comparing properties that are in beautiful condition compared to one that's not ready for sale. The city's assessment program doesn't take into account these important factors in its mass appraisal calculations and this regression analysis formula. As a result, properties in disrepair require this kind of detailed annual inspection and review to establish the true market value. So, I just want to review the city's assessment methodology. The city assessor typically justifies the market value of a property by somehow mysteriously reconciling the differences of the comparables, as presented by Patricia. She presents these comparables. There's no mathematic values attributed to the differences. It's simply a narrative comparing features described as inferior, superior. These comparisons are primarily directed at the size of the lot, the location, and influence. There's absolutely no dollar value attributed to either the lot size, location, influence, or condition of the property. This is akin to just throwing a dart. To an accredited appraiser, the comparison of major features and assigning a value to them provides the most credible and accurate results. And that's what I've attempted to do in my brief. Just so I was clear on what an appraisal consists of, a Google search suggests that the following: how does an appraiser determine value? A property's appraisal value is influenced by recent sales of similar properties and by current market trends. The appraiser must do a complete visual inspection of the interior and exterior and note any conditions that adversely affect the property's value, such as needed repairs. This is where my biggest concern is. The needed repairs are overlooked in my property. Next says, what parameters do appraisers typically use to determine the value of a property using the sales comparison approach? I assume that we're using a sales comparison approach. If I'm correct, then the appraiser first identifies the elements of comparison that may affect the value of the subject property. For each element in comparison, the characteristics of the comparable are compared to those of the subject property, and any differences are measured and an appropriate price adjustment is made. I'll repeat that last part. An appropriate price adjustment is made. None of this is done by the city's assessor. It's just, to me, it seems like a helter-skelter approach. Here's the comparables. They look similar. Let's move on. And yeah, it's all good. I think it needs to be more detailed than that. And that's what I've attempted to do in my presentation today. As I mentioned a bit earlier, the average Winnipeg taxpayer would assume that the city's methodology at this level of appeal would include a more rigorous approach to appraisal and identify certain major differences in the comparable properties, such as finished basement versus 2 or 3 car garages, in-ground or above-ground pool, lot size, water influence. Instead, the city assessor just uses broad term descriptions like inferior, superior, similar. This method of appraisal can't be more flawed and inaccurate. I just feel it's just even, wait a second. Something missing here. I'm trying to my report. Oh, well, I guess there's a paragraph missing. Or wait. Oh yeah, even more troubling is that the city's assessment method makes no attempt to identifying and putting a cost to the remedial work. In summary, the most critical error is when there is no dollar value assigned to the condition of the property, specifically the cost of the remedial work to bring it up to average market conditions, as this is done every year by the city assessor. If someone wants to come and buy a property, they're going to want to look at the condition. If they came in and looked at the condition of this property at the date of sale, there's no way it would be worth $614,000. Absolutely not. And the city's assessor's photos don't depict that correctly. I'll show you mine later. So now I'm going to review my methodology in trying to compare my property to the comparables. Since every property has its own unique features, to truly compare properties requires mathematics, not just descriptive adjuncts. In the selection of comparables, it's important to consider key features such as number of garages, whirlpool tub, lot size, and water influence. A negative or positive dollar value should be applied for an accurate comparison calculations, not just inferior or superior verbiage. This involves a more accurate, rigorous calculation. Firstly, instead of nondescript wording such as inferior or superior that lack any significant value, more precise and reasonable assessment was taken by assigning actual dollar values for the following main features affecting market value of the comparables. This is excluding the condition of the property. Secondly, the amount was adjusted by the remedial work necessary to bring the property to the level of equal market conditions of the comparables. So most of the feature values below were obtained and recommended from previous city assessor appeals. The assessor also agreed that the subject property required extensive remedial work to bring it up to average market conditions. So we agreed in the past, and I think these hold true for the current situation. There's no finished basement, it's a deduct of $40,000. At least that's something. If there's only a partial finished basement, it's a deduct of $20,000. Those we don't have to look at in this case because all the comps have finished basements, mine as well as the assessors. Mine is $15,000 for a 3-car versus 2-car garage. All of my comparables have 3-car garages. Only one of the assessors has a 3-car garage. Similarly, a deduct of $22,000 for an in-ground pool and $6,000 for an above-ground pool. One of my properties has an in-ground pool, and there's been a deduction made for that. The lot size. This has always been a sticking point with the city. They suggest that my lot is so large that it requires higher taxes. Well, to account for that, we agreed that in the past, like if there's any objection to this, and currently I'd like to hear it from Patricia, that we deducted $10,000 if the lot size is below 60% of the subject property and $5,000 if it's within 60% of subject property. Also of importance is water influence. I deducted $20,000 if there's no lake water influence, and minus only $10,000 if there's a golf course or park influence. I've used these numbers in my comparables, and I'll show you those in a few moments. So I take a precise approach with the following 3 comparable properties. I show 3 comparables. First is Blue Water Crescent, number 5. The second is 22 Shamrock Drive. The third is 62 Southbridge Drive. I'll move to the exhibit now. It has high resolution photos of all these MLS listings. In summary, the average time adjusted per square foot value is $189.65. This differs dramatically from Patricia's or the assessors. I think she was way in excess of 200. After I make the adjustments for the pool size, land influence, as all the items I described above, the average square foot is $187.15. If you multiply that by the subject property area, you get $550,030. Okay, that's before you take into account any remedial work and the condition of the property. So that's the baseline as far as I'm concerned. And these comparables, we'll look at them now. I'll move to that appendix. Before I do that, the first exhibit shows a summary of all the remedial work. And this is supported by written estimates in one of the other appendixes. Come up with $258,000 in remedial work required to bring this to market conditions, similar to the properties described by the assessor's brief. So now we have the 3 comparables. Just zoom in here a bit. Comparable number 1 sold for $495,000. It has a 3-car garage. I'd like to take the opportunity now to go look at some of those pictures. After it was adjusted for time, the value was $500,400. While we're on this page, we can just look at the other 2 properties. The other one at 122 Shamrock Drive sold for $495,000. Time adjusted value is $511,800. And then the third one, 63 Southbridge, it's the only one with a pool, so it has some adjustments made to it. And I'm going to scroll down in a moment to show you how those came up to this purple value here. So its average square foot is a little bit higher, 228,000. If you average these 3, you get 189,065 cents as the average time adjusted value. Down here, you'll see below that is how I adjusted the values. Deducted the $17.39 for the pool. Each one of the properties has a smaller lot size, so I added the appropriate square footage based on that value shown earlier. And 2 of these properties have lake influence similar to the subject property, so there's no adjustment made there. Comp 3, there was an adjustment made because it did not have lake influence, so that added $4.35 per square foot. So as far as some key features, as I say, the Comp 1 and Comp 2 were built in the same year as the subject property. Comp 3 is 13 years newer. They all have 3-car garages. Comp 1 and 2 have lake view and retention property of influence. Comp 3 has a park reserve. They all have landscaped decks. Comp 1 is a corner fenced and has an updated kitchen. We'll see that in the photos. Comp 2 is a park reserve, playground nearby, treed lot, AC, high efficiency furnace, which the subject property does not have. It has a wet bar. Subject property doesn't have that. It also has a cedar shake roof, an underground sprinkler system, and a play structure. These are highlighting some differences that the subject property doesn't have. Subject property Comp 3 is fenced nearby to golf. Actually, the subject property is nearby to the golf group as well. Playground nearby, private yard. It has the pool, a deck, also a high energy efficient furnace, and a 4th bedroom. So to summarize, at the very bottom of this page, in the appendix, I guess you will call it appendix, what is it? I'm going to scroll up to see exhibit B1, the comparables. Using the time adjusted and adjustments for garage, in-ground pool, lot size, and land influence, I come up with $180.15 per square foot average time adjusted square foot cost. If you apply that number to the square footage of 15 Lone Oak Place, you get $550,030. Deducting the $285,000 required to bring it to market condition, I arrive at $292,030. Okay, so now this is the Comp 1. I don't know if you can view this in your. Are you on the same page as me in the report?
We already went through these, didn't we?
No. Anyway, I'm going to scroll down to the photos of these comps. This is Blue Water.
Are they further down or?
Yeah, it's way down in the appendix, page Exhibit E1.
I'll watch it on the screen.
Okay. So as you can see, it's a 3-car garage. That's the first picture. Beautiful landscaping. This is the front view. You got actually a park type forest, and there's the actual Seine River is just on the other side of that sidewalk. Oh, this is skipping. Okay. Just a view of the front, 2 3-car garage. The backyard. It would be nice if this scrolled one picture at a time. There's the view from the back of the retention pond. They call it lake view. This is the kitchen. As you can see, it has a nice clean white kitchen with hardwood floors. Looks like granite countertops. Another view of the kitchen with the hardwood floor and granite countertops. I guess there's not very many pictures on that. 7 pictures. I don't know why it says 7 of 20. Okay, next is 122 Shamrock. Again, it's a 3-car garage. A little bit older than the subject property. It's 3,000 square feet. 3,000 square feet, about the same as mine. Lakefront, 2-story, triple attached garage, quietly located on a big lot with mature trees and landscaping. Fantastic curb appeal that says signature home. Large room sizes that include main floor den and laundry, countryside kitchen and dinette. This is one thing about the subject property, 15 Little. The bedrooms are small. They spent too much real estate on the foyer, a grandiose foyer, and not enough square footage in the rooms. It's hard to fit a full complement, a bedroom suite in the smaller bedrooms. It has a heat recovery system. 15 Lone Oak Place does not. Has a high efficiency furnace. 15 Lone Oak does not. It includes appliances, rock solid home. Okay, so let's look at some photos. There's a 3-car garage. Another view of the front. View interior. I guess this was already, the furniture was moved out. Exceptional backyard. Some furniture there. It looks like it's got quartz countertops. We just have laminate countertops in the subject property. This looks like the basement. Wet bar. Looks like the basement as well because of the higher windows. I'm guessing this is the basement washroom because it's ceiling tile here. That's likely an upper floor bathroom. Beautiful blue room. And we have the, looks like the master, well, hard to see. I don't know if that's a master en suite or not. Hard to see. This large laundry room. Laundry room at 15 Lone Oak is very, very tiny. I hope to show you some pictures later. Okay, finally, the third comp, 63 Southbridge Drive. Once again, a 3-car garage. Tried to pick comparables or similar, how do I say, street view appeal, curb appeal. It's a little bit smaller. It's only 2,300 square feet. But that should all come out in the calculations that I performed earlier. A little more contemporary look, hardwood floors. See, this is all finished. There's no remedial work required here. So it's a finished product. I don't see any holes in the ceilings. All the baseboards are in place. Washrooms are all tiled. Granite countertops. Now, I could send you the links to these and you'd have them instantly. Just 3 links and you'd have them for your records. So I don't know why you need hard copies. I'm not just sure what the panel members are seeing. Are you looking at the screen or are you looking at my document?
I'm looking at your document.
Okay. So I may be out of sync with what you're looking at.
Pick what we have on our screen.
Okay. All right, so we're looking at photograph 16 of 20 for 63 Southbridge Drive. That looks like the ensuite. And we're down at page 17, the rec room. Now, if you were to compare this rec room to the one that Patricia presented that I wanted to show you pictures of, it's like night and day. Like, and mine's in worse condition than this. That's why it's important for the city to do a proper job and present photos rather than just written numbers. It's just the wrong way to establish a market value of the home. Any realtor can't establish a market value of a home without inspecting it and looking at it and taking photos and presenting them to their clients. This is what the city should be doing. So this 63 Southbridge Drive, it has the pool, which I made a calculation deduction for. Very nice pool. This is the last page of the document. Okay, now I'm going to skip back up to where we left off before looking at the comparables. So that would be page the bottom of the second last page of the narrative page. Oh, the page numbers aren't there. Sorry about that. It was hard to include all these in the headers and footers when you're doing this all. So now I want to present to you an exhibit D1, the 111 photographs of the subject property. And the majority, these were photos that were taken by the city assessor in 2017. actually, the next sentence there says the rest are thumbnails, the index list of thumbnails. That's not correct. That should have been edited out. It's hard to justify printing 111 photos in high resolution color. So anyway, this is great that we can do this by Zoom, because we avoid all those costs. Okay, so I guess we're down to the end of the narrative. Application of remedial work, and this is the killer to this whole thing. I have established my comparables show a value of $555,030, and I think these are the best comparables. One is just across the street, basically around the corner, on the lake, much the same condition, much the same year of the features rather. No pool, has lakefront. Those key influences are the same. So now everything that's so important to, as I've stressed along this whole time, is remedial work. This property needs a lot of work to bring it up to market conditions. I recall when one of the properties at I think it was 23 Dogwood that was presented by Patricia. One of them sold, and it was 700 plus thousand. And I had a realtor come in and do an assessment on my property. It's just not even close. You're way under six, because he looked at the condition of the property. So I've tried to give you all the supporting documents. And Exhibit A1 shows that my calculations for remedial work. And further down in the exhibits, you'll find written estimates from contractors and actual invoices, paid invoices of some remedial work that was done. And they correspond to the estimates that were provided. It's quite remarkable that $550,030, and you take off $250,000, brings you down to $292,030. That's what I truly believe this property would have been worth. And so it wouldn't have sold. People are not really prepared to spend a lot of money upgrading a property, which is why I'm spending hundreds of thousands of dollars now to bring it up to market value. I'd like to move now to, see this exhibit, we should just touch on it. There's a list of quotations in Exhibit C1. You can view those at your leisure, but those are written estimates. And then number 9 is numerous other actual invoices for work already completed that I mentioned. So finally, Exhibit D1, we'll look at the pictures of the subject property that were taken by the city. So let's scroll down to Exhibit D1. Oh, that's quite a ways down because there's a lot of quotations and estimates and invoices here. So way down to first picture. Okay, as you can see from the timestamp, this was taken
2016.
2017.
16, isn't it?
17.
No, 17.
Yeah. I guess that's April 4th. Is that April or March 3rd or April 4th? Close enough, within a month. Okay, so let's move on to the next picture. This is the backyard. You can see there a retaining planter wall that's collapsed. The deck there is in rotten condition. This is the dated kitchen. This is where I guess we have the discrepancy between the date of market value. I understood it to mean April 1st, 2018, the condition of the home at that time. This news to me that it's the condition of the home at 2020. So In order to determine which of these renovations were completed at the time, we would have to take a lot of time to look at the invoices and that I've attached. It would demonstrate which items were complete at that certain time. I believe this kitchen was that by that time was renovated. This just shows all of the windows that were cracked and fogged up. There was $60,000 in windows are replaced. Cracked window in the middle there. Down there. There's a gleaming crack. It's a picture of the window from the outside. It's all fogged up because it's the seal's broken. But this is all after the fact. These windows have been replaced. More window damage. More window damage. More window damage. Hail damage on the windows. Page 14 of the subject property, more window damage from hail. Page 16 of 111 of the comparables. So the back door showing what kind of condition it was in. Not repairable.
Can I ask you, Stephen, are any of these pictures that you're showing us of the house in today's state?
No, you want to know what they are in 2020, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can try and tell you what if these were replaced.
Like some of these are quite old.
Sorry, it's also actually the current condition as of today's date, because we're looking at the 2022 roll. So it's not even 2020. We're looking at, 2021. Yeah, 2022 conditions. So what it is today.
Yeah.
So these pictures are not worth anything.
No. You used these in the past.
What the condition is, but isn't the market value supposed to be for 2020? I'm confused.
Today's condition, 2018.
But that's not what it would have sold at in 2018.
Today's condition in 2018. These are pictures from 2017, 26, and older.
Well, let me just show you. These were taken yesterday. This is the master bathroom.
What page is that on?
Unfortunately, it's not on there.
Oops.
This should have been in Patricia's photos, but of course, cherry picked them so they.
Sorry, I wasn't at your house yesterday.
But this is the state of the condition at the time you were there.
That photograph is not.
That was not the bathroom was not in that condition.
That photograph's not in evidence anymore.
You can see her photograph shows the wallpaper has been removed.
We can.
I can go to her photos. Like here we go. Let's go look. Where are your photos here? Okay, there's the bathroom. Of course, it's a tiny thumbnail that you can't really see, but you can see the wallpaper here has been removed. There's a definite line. I don't know how you can how can you look at this and go, oh yeah, that looks great, but you got to look at some detailed high-res photos. Like it's only fair. I'm not asking a lot. It's like this is the same.
So I want to object again to this being shown.
Of course.
We've already said we're not looking at that picture.
Yeah, of course you would. You want to object to photos that you selectively cherry pick. It's okay.
We don't selectively pick anything.
Well, why wouldn't she have shown the state of the stairs here? There's all this carpet has to be replaced. You got none of the baseboards are in place. The molding on the doors is not.
Right, he's continuing to show pictures here.
Well, why not? Don't you want
because you didn't have this entire evidence.
Oh, let's just be real and just go, okay, let's try and compare this property to the other properties. This is the current state of why weren't you here then yesterday taking pictures?
We're not going to be sharing the screen anymore, so the screen is off so we can't see it.
Oh, you missed a great picture, big holes in the walls.
Good. Carry on, Stephen.
I'll present these again in the future if necessary.
Please do.
I think this is such an unfair process. It's just like trying to hide everything. Let's try and hide the real value of the property instead of making it fair and going, yeah, that's what the property looks like today. Okay, fair. I try and show you that, and oh, we object. Like, what is?
Then put them in your paper when you send it in.
I was under the assumption that it was 2018. Like I'm not a full-time assessor. You have to allow a little bit of leeway for the general people, that aren't doing this full time.
I think we've given you a lot of leeway, so let's keep going.
All right, so I think I finished discussing my brief. Let me just go
open for questions.
Just see where we left off. If there's anything I missed. Oh, yeah. Exhibit C1, supporting documents, or Exhibit A1. This is called detailed contractor quotations obtained to verify actual costs of remedial work required for 15 Lone Oak Place to equal market value condition of the comparables. First item is a quotation for windows. Okay, the date on this.
The windows are already done?
Yeah, I'm just
Why
going
do you see a quote on it?
to point out which ones are done. This one here, Debrock Masonry, this one isn't done yet. This is a damage from a vehicle impact to a garage pillar. Photos are shown in my brief, I believe. This is the estimate for the hail damaged windows. That one you can disregard because the windows have been replaced, but that was $7,600. This is for countertops to match and equal the market value of other properties, other comparables. There are several of these, and you have to add them together, but it's in the order of 20,000. At this point, I'd say 1, 2, 3 out of 4 rooms are done, so 25% is left to be done. This is a quote for the new air conditioning and furnace. It's limping along, it's acting up, it's shutting off, and I just replaced a motor about a month and a half ago. The air conditioner doesn't work, it doesn't cool the house adequately. So there's an estimate of 10,000. I had a more recent estimate done about a year ago. This one's quite dated. You'll see it's 2012. There's another one coming up here. This one done in 2018. None of this work is done. It's 16,500. The replacement of the furnace requires that a new water tank be installed because the flue. There's a code requirement that you can't put a flue in with this without changing your whole chimney. So that was the most cost efficient way to do it. So 18,000 required there. The deck here, it was 20,000. I think the estimate was. That's been done as of this date. Yeah, composite decking was 30,000. It exceeded that cost. The plumbing, these are actual 2018. I'd say 75% of these fixtures have been installed to date. That was almost $13,000 worth of plumbing. Flooring, the entire second floor is basically unfinished as far as the flooring. The estimate was roughly, well, that's just bits and pieces. You'd have to add them all together. 20,000, I think, for the main floor flooring. What do we have here? Oh, this is just prepped for the new deck, which has been finished. Bathroom towel bars. Yeah, some of those have been done. This is 2021. Okay, so obviously this hasn't been done yet. That was $2,500 for mirrors and shower glass. This is the freight for something. Bunch of notes here. What do we have here? Oh, those are blinds. So from here, this point on, these are all invoices that were paid. So you can tell from the dates when this work was completed. If it's obviously everything's completed as of today. It'd be nice to be able to show you what isn't complete. I wasn't able to show those pictures. You know, you think by now, after being appealing this every year, I'd know this, but I guess with this new change with Zoom and what you have to present beforehand, the rules are always changing in front of you. So I guess I'll know next year.
Let's hope we're not on Zoom next year.
Oh, I hope we are, because I can't imagine printing 200 pictures.
Especially 5 copies.
Yeah. Well, I think they allow electronic versions now. Oh, one electronic version, right. Yeah, that's what the municipal board wanted. Terrible. Okay, so for your,
You got the gist of the receipts.
yeah,
Go through them.
all done.
Is there anything else that you wanted to bring other than the receipts?
I guess if anything, I could just stress that the condition of the home wasn't really properly taken into account by the city's assessment. And first and foremost, the comparables aren't really very good comparables. Mine are much more comparable to the property, even without dealing with the remedial work. Even if you discount any of that, you look at my comparables, they're way more in line than Patricia's. And I'm really remiss that I couldn't present her photos, because that's something she should have done.
Let's move on from that. It's not going to happen.
And why is that?
Because I said so.
Okay. Selective omission. Oh, brother. I still don't understand, if she's providing comparables, why I can't cross-reference her comparables. It just doesn't make legal sense to me. So yeah, I'd like to go on record as formally objecting to that.
You already did?
Okay,
We did at the beginning.
all right. Just duly noted.
It's duly noted.
Thank you. So I guess I'm open for questions.
Okay. Patricia, questions?
Yes, I do have a few. How much money do you think that you put into the house in the past, say, 5 years?
In the past 5 years? I can tell you exactly. I have a spreadsheet if you want me to bring it up.
Just a ballpark figure is fine.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
I'm guessing 375.
Okay. And you purchased the property, 10 plus years ago for $400,000. Is that correct?
In 1998, what is that?
Yeah.
28 years ago?
Now, would you sell the property for $300,000, which is approximately what you're asking for at this time?
If I needed the money, I'd have no choice because no one would offer me any more.
Okay. So you would sell it for the price that you're indicating in your brief?
There'd be no choice. Yeah, that's what it's worth.
Okay. I just had my last question here is your adjustment on the land. I'm just looking at your comparable 1-5 Blue Water Crescent. So it's about 14,000 square feet less than your lot size in your property. And it looks like you're adjusting about $6,000 for that. Do you believe that a lot less than half your size is worth only $6,000 less than yours?
You go there. So what page are you on?
I'm on, it's your comparable sales sheet. It's not numbered here, but it's in Exhibit B1 on my page 38.
I'm going there, yeah.
Yeah.
Lot size. Is that, let me get my calculator here. Where to go? Pick a calculator. Okay, this property square footage is 2942. All right, just want to check a number. Not sure how that calculation. I think if I go above, we allocated 20,000 if there's no lake water influence. Oh, lot size 10,000. Right. If it's below 60% of subject property. These are figures that were agreed to with Jeff Bourne and prior assessments. So if you agreed to them then, I don't see why they wouldn't agree to them now.
Okay, so my question was your adjustment appears to be $5,000, upwards for $14,000 difference in lot size. Is that correct?
$5,000, yeah.
Okay, no further questions.
Tracy, any questions?
Actually, the assessor asked all the questions that I needed. Thank you.
Okay. Doug?
Just out of curiosity, what do you feel your home is worth?
I gave you the number.
What do I think it's worth?
No, it's okay. No further questions. Thank you.
I'm just looking for the number. 200 and something. Just under 3. I've got no questions, so thank you very much.
One thing I wanted to say, the date is important here to understand for me. We're trying to establish what the house would have sold for in April 1st of 2020. Is that correct?
2018.
Okay.
April 1st, 2018, in today's present condition.
That's just a contradiction. And I'm trying to understand in today's
condition at April 1st, 2018 value.
This is 4 years later. Why?
We don't normally have 4 years. We used to, now it's 2 years, but because of COVID, it was changed on us, so.
So I'm disadvantaged due to COVID. I think we should take that into consideration, kindly,
Wrong place to ask
Go
that.
back 2 years, many of these renovations wouldn't have been completed. So it's really, again, another unfairness in this whole treatment process of looking at the value of the property on the sale date. Very frustrating. I mean, I want to be honest with you.
Thank you very much.
When the renovations are complete, tax me as what the property's worth. I'm fine. That's whatever it is, it is. But the remedial work needs to be done, otherwise it won't sell. And furthermore, my comparables are comparables. The city's assessors comparables are not comparables. And if you only looked at the pictures, you would have acknowledged that I'm telling you the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Okay, we have heard all the items scheduled on today's hearing, and the meeting is now adjourned. I think I need 5 minutes.